I was going to just, I was trying to get to go to Newman Prep, and I ended up, I didn't have any money. And in the summer of '65, I was with my future first ex-brother-in-law. We did a buddy system, enlisting in the Army. I love this story, the best. But I remember vividly, Quincy, if you remember in the Quincy Square, who used to be the recruiting officer. So we walked in and we said, oh yeah, I wanted to be an Army engineer, because my first father-in-law, we weren't married. I came back from Vietnam. But what happened is I ended up trying to get in the Army engineers. So I enlisted the Army engineers. But then the recruiter decided, he asked me a question. He said, oh, you know, you can, if you jump out of airplanes, you can make $55 extra a month. So it's a great story, but well, it sounded like a good idea at the time. On September 20th, 1965, went to Fort Dix, and then probably near the end of basic, they decided to, I think they had a couple of big battles in Vietnam that changed the course of the war. And so we ended up going, how would I say, everyone that volunteered for airborne, move over there. I made 5 jumps at jump school. And we didn't jump in Vietnam. It was all either rappelling or coming out of chopper. We had to make a jump, a full, you know, it wasn't a combat jump. It was a jump into dry rice paddies. All right, a couple of trees, and one of the lieutenants landed in one, too, but that's amazing. But one brigade, we all jumped together in full combat, you know, rifle bag, everything. And that was my, they call it the first jump out of jump school, your cherry blast. And that's where my cherry blast is. January '67. Unbelievable. We came back to Phan Rang, and he made us jump in some dry rice paddies. It was kind of stupid, but that we kept getting the jump pay. That was the whole thing. So we went over there, and they changed our orders from Fort Leonard Wood, which that was my orders, but then they sent me, a bunch of us, to Fort Polk, Louisiana, which they were just starting Tigerland, and which is a way of training people to going in the jungle. So.
Are you comfortable talking a little bit more about Tigerland and that experience?
Oh, Tigerland, yes. It was really different, because, you know, they were they're training you in a jungle and villages, you know, going in, how to take control, you know, it was military stuff. But I really didn't, you know, I mean, oh, well, okay. I didn't know. I mean, kind of oblivious. I think I was too young, basically. So 18 years old. So what ended up happening, there were a couple of moments in Tigerland, but that wasn't really, it was, when I first got to Vietnam, that's when it really hit home. We ended up going to Vietnam in Saigon, which lower, they were still bringing them in Saigon. Then they moved north after that, 2 years. But we all did a week indoctrination, gets you late what's going to happen. And then they put me, and then we went to the unit, the 101st, which was just north of Saigon, almost to the Cambodia border. And then we went out on our first mission, and I think I had an 80-pound pack. I weighed 125 pounds, and we're all sitting in a chopper coming in, landing in a wet rice paddy, you know. So we were hovering off the ground, and he said, okay, guys. So the guy we all went out, but the guy behind me was on top of me. Tush. So I was soaking wet, come out spitting. But that, well, welcome to Vietnam, because I was going in the jungle, but I spent a whole year doing it. It was just like amazing, some of the stories.
Tell me about the men in your company.
My company, they were great, a lot of them. You could trust me with my life. I mean, all of us, always. You know, there was a few people that kind of broke down, which I can understand. You know, broke down, and you know, we had to tell them, shut the fuck up. You know, it's not time for this. So, but most, we're very lucky. We had a lot of good people. I mean, no one ever saw any color. There was no prejudice. There were no atheists. I mean, we all depended on each other. And it was really good. That's what got me through it. A lot of good people. I lived in a jungle. What we did, our units were search and destroy. Westmoreland had this pattern of going out, going to the villages and securing, and but we used to get always ambushed and all that. But we go out for 20 and 30 days at a time. Every day, resupply us in the air, wherever we go. So I spent probably over 300 days out in the field, I mean, we were only back for a week, maybe two, then we moved to another area. So I really spent a lot of time in the jungle. There's a lot of stories there, which I got to remember when I went to my first reunion. So, and after that, everyone kept reminding us what we did. It was up in the Central Highlands, Dock Hill, and it was a pretty good-sized one in June of '66. And they were trying to control, well, they were watching the Ho Chi Minh Trail. The trail comes right down to the end, and that's basically about the Ho Chi Minh Trail. And a bombing, they bombed the B-52s, would bomb, and we go in and check out the area afterwards, you know, see what damage or whatever, you know. But, you know, it's just, then we still get ambushed anyways. Well, they tried to cut down on the influx of NVA people coming, North Vietnamese coming down and fighting. You know, they had NVA, you had the Black Pajamas, which are locals, and they worked together. Yeah, that's basically, we're trying to hold it back, you know. That's the whole thing. And then they decided, nah, we need more people over here. So that's when, after that, 66, and then 67, we did a lot of fighting all over the place. And we were north, south. And I left them in 67, just in the Trang, going north, and they went to where they ended up staying most of the time, from 68 up till 72, where it was. But they were all way up north with the Marines, and we were up there in 1st Cav, all that. They were all up in the higher end. But it ended up, you know, they all came in eventually.
I want to just briefly go back to the Operation Hawthorne.
Yep.
Because
okay.
Walk me through
the day I got shot.
Yes.
That's the defining moment for me. It's in the book, but the idea is we were well, we woke up in the morning in the Central Highlands with the fields rolls right off the hill, and the trails used to be halfway through woodline to woodline, you know, sometimes. So we started the morning off. We landed the night before, and then we started the next morning, and we're going down the trail, and they let us go most of the platoon. We were behind the third or fourth platoon, and what happened is Fredericks, who was the last guy in the platoon, got shot in the ass. So we had snipers, but he got stopped. So my squad leader, my platoon, my squad leader, sorry, and he ended up. We had to get together, and well, my platoon side said, "Okay, take these people back to the hill, to the LZ, where we started, where we landed, and get him medevaced out." So we all dropped the packs on the trail, and the rifles, and we thought everyone was watching all this stuff, but they weren't. We go back and come back, and the packs are all. We go to the end of the tree line, and we find out that the packs have been pulled to the right down the hill in a pile. So my squad leader, James Wallace, he had ended up, we went down, and we were still, well, we hadn't got any sniper fire then, I mean, when we came back, but then we got down there, and Sergeant Wallace wanted to test, make sure we were all down near it, but not all right him. He went down and tied a string around it and stood up, halfway stood up to try to see if it was booby trap. So, which they do a lot, usually throw a grenade underneath it. So he got halfway up, and we're all sitting a little halfway up the trail, and he gets shot. Boom, boom, drops. So we go down there, and there was another guy was falling apart. We told him, shut up. Ended up, we're all there, and we were kind of it was a panic mode then, but we ended up, had to get him up to the main trail, and he died. I mean, so I'm dragging him with another guy. I know his name, but I'll remember it later. Car. So ended up coming up with the trail, and then we started getting sniper fire. So we're going over, I think there was a log there. We're going over the log, and one of my buddies, Speedy Gonzalez, called my name, and I turned my head, and as I was pulling my squad leader up, I got the bullet, creased my jaw. I mean, it felt like someone didn't break my jaw or anything. It was a lucky shot, but didn't break the jaw. Ended up going, okay. Wow.
You want to take a break?
He ended up, it felt like someone in the car was black-eyed. His eyes lit up, going, "Oh shit!" We both. But someone felt like hit me in the jaw. I started bleeding, so I started scurrying up the top of the hill to the trail, main trail, and there was a medic up there that stopped me and put a whoa, calm down, don't worry, yeah. So ended up put a bandage on me, and I mean, the shit was still going on. But then finally, they took me and my squad leader, Wallace, back to the LZ again. And that's when after that, we got on the chopper. He was on the floor. I was sitting there going, I can't believe I'm still here. But we went to Playco and Mass Hospital. And welcome to war. And then what happened, spent 10 days there. I watched a lot of, they were taking care of North Vietnamese too, and all that back and forth, and nice Mass Hospital. And then I went back, back to Ducto during the Hawthorne. This was all during Hawthorne. I mean, I was in the middle of it, but then it kept going too. And went back to get off the plane. We landed in Actually, we just missed John Wayne. We ended up coming back and back in the field. Didn't skip a beat for 10 days. I mean, I was then back to the same routine. Hump, get up, everything. But I healed up. But that always affects me. Wow, it kind of hit me there too. Oof. Oh,
All right.
you think you're tough and you're not. No, I just think about, I was sleeping with the night before. Because we used to double up different in the platoon. And he is a 28-year-old guy from Alabama, and had 2 daughters. Never did go back. He went back. But then kept going. All summer we went to rice paddies, we up to Tuiwa. We did so many things. I mean, we kept going. And then the other major one that bothered me is November 9th. So it's moved ahead to November 9th. And his name was Otis Jackson, but he was not black. He was from Huntington Beach, California. Great guy. And the only time I cried in Vietnam, that was we split platoon up. We were up a higher ground, and the other half of the platoon was down lower ground. And I guess there's one new guy there, and Otis was the squad leader then. He was getting ready to go home, and he went up in front and tried to, straighten it out. What's going on? They ambushed him, and then he got shot in the eye. And we were up top, and they started dragging him up, and then we ended up having to drag him up. It was his last day. He was going home then, and he had a daughter he never saw. And all of us sitting on the trail, had on a poncho, and we're all looking up. That's when I cried. I lost it then. That was a tough moment. Last day. But thank God for my wife. I mean, I go to the reason. Never saw any of these people after that once I went home. Got married. But it ended up, took me a couple times to get it right with marriage. But I married my best friend, and who saved me. She, I was going to go to reunions years ago, but none of us, they didn't want to talk to us. My brother wouldn't go, we wouldn't go. No, they didn't want to talk to us. So around 2006, well, like 40s and 50s, we all decided that we were going to try, they seem the 101st, well, the 101st, as they do reunions, they do all the ages, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and just starting Afghanistan. Iraq. So my wife said, "Oh, why don't we go?" I had the brochure. I said, "Why don't?" So she said, "I think you should go." So we went. Best thing that ever happened to me. She saved me. And I can't save her. But it was fabulous. I mean, we had the best times. I told you the story about when we met. It gives me goosebumps. Everyone, I tell that. Ooh. But my wife, oh, the guy, look at me. I get there and his second 5-0 Deuce hat on, and you go, the stories, it's really good. And the guy turns to me and says, We introduced our names. It said Jim Logston. I said, my name's Jim Walden. He said, I've been looking for you for 40 years. Come with me. He takes me in the hospitality suite. And like I told you, which is a great story, walking in, he said, there's my lieutenant, radio operator, and 14 or 15 people. And then we all got together every year, every 2 years, and we had more fun. We traveled, and they ended up a lot of good guys. You heard all these stories that what we did, they refresh your memory. You know, I told you the story a couple of laughing one time, teaching a guy how to walk point. What are you doing? And he ended up he was from the Virgin Islands. He was a great guy, and he ended up earning a Bronze Star after I left. But he was a good man, all a good man. All right, I'm sorry.
Don't be.
I mean, I have my moments, but I got lucky. Married a good woman that we both care about each other. So that's why I'm still here. I haven't given up. It's easy to do.